I remember I used to work, and it took me like 2 hours to get home in the car. I used to work far, and I would literally hear the same set of songs like recycle
Oh,
themselves.
sure. Sure.
And I'm like, I can't hear anything new. I can't hear anything that's not like Billboard Top 10. Like, I
Right.
can't hear anything else. So I can't discover anything else. I can't feel anything else.
Well, that's great that now we have the ability to be able to listen to music on all kinds of different platforms, but how do you sift through the noise and get to the good stuff? Is it through listening to one artist and then maybe actually doing a little bit of, work to search and go, other people listen to such and such. Other people listen to such and such.
Yeah.
And clicking on it and listen.
don't.
I think their algorithms are pretty good with, like, I know in particular Spotify has like, here's your mix for X, Y, Z, and sometimes it'll be a genre mix where it's like, this is hip hop that you might like, and sometimes it might be an artist mix, like this is J. Cole that you might like, and it's a J. Cole mix, and it's not all just J. Cole, but it's people that fit in the thing. You're gonna have to do some research.
Because I was going to say, don't you feel like you get a little bit like pigeonholed, though, into like one kind of like genre or style?
For sure. That's when you, this is why I love doing this. I just love hearing other people's music tastes. I always bond over music. I'm always talking to other people, asking what they're listening to and what they're, and like, some people are shy about their music, but you got to share music, man. Music is it's a cultural, it's a community. You could get pigeonholed if you want to stay in your own headspace, but learning what other people like, I think, is really
I like, to be shown like other music, but I also like I like finding stuff that makes me feel a certain way, and then I like to listen to it till I hate it.
Right, yeah.
And then I find the next song.
everybody.
The first time that I ever experienced people sharing music and listening to music that I probably would have never heard was when LimeWire, after Napster got shut down,
Can we
then there
say
was
that word?
LimeWire
Yeah.
that
Gave my
came out,
fucking
and it
computer
was the
AIDS.
first time that I went through folders, and there were people's folders from some guy in Boston, and I could actually go into that folder, into his playlist, and listen to the songs that he was listening to, and I couldn't believe the array of different genres like this person, one particular person, was listening to. So that gave me the inclination of like, wow, okay, this is not just me that just likes a lot of different styles of music. And it's not just myself that's disheartened with the direction of certain radio stations that are only playing one genre. Are there radio stations that are not getting it, that people like a lot of different styles of music? Or is it the majority of people stick to one genre of music? What do you think that is?
You know what? I think sometimes we forget because we're so in the thick of it, because everyone over here is an artist, so we just appreciate art regardless. But there's some people that just they don't like music. They just don't like music. For them, music is like a bite size, the radio, the party, the club, the whatever. They might not listen to music in their headphones. They don't give a crap. They don't. I've met a couple of people like that, and I'm shocked.
But I'm talking about the people that do like music. Do you think there's a more mass majority of our people that are listening to radio and radio stations because of the genre of music that they're playing? Or do you think there's a bigger population of people that are more up to listening to streaming platforms because there's more array of variety that they can create their own playlist?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's definitely
I
the
go with that
second
one.
one. Yeah. I don't think anybody listens to the radio except for the people who don't give a shit about music. The ones that are just like, this is
They're
just an
listening to
ad.
its noise in the
The thing I
background.
know is like any of the people that I'm close with, they're on all the streaming platforms because they want to have the variety, but a lot of them are listening to music not from right now. And that doesn't mean like 60s, 70s, 80s, but that even just means like earlier 2000s, like late 90s. I'm wondering, maybe, I don't know, it's just like the direction that the world is going in and everything is chaos and everything is awful all the time. People really like nostalgia.
Yeah.
They like to
that's
be
for sure.
reminded and brought back to music that makes them feel like cozy and
You know
safe.
where that comes from?
No.
It's actually depression.
Well, color me pink.
Actually, nostalgia. If you actually look up,
I know it's like an illness.
the definition of nostalgia was defined back in like the 50s and 60s was depression, a form of depression, because you felt that there was an era in your life was
was
the best
better.
time of your life, and everything else is Oh, it'll never be like that again.
Damn.
Albert, I am gonna talk to my therapist about
Holy
you.
shit! I don't
Well,
have a
this is why this
therapist.
is couch sessions.
Yeah, exactly. We're just being
we're at the
fucking
right place for this.
sad boy vibes.
Okay. So yes, I think a lot of the people that I know that listen to and they're stuck listening to 80s or 90s music are very nostalgic. There is a period in their life that went and has passed, and they're
grasping at straws.
not content with the direction of where their lives have gone. I think there's a huge correlation with people that are unhappy with their lives that listen to strictly 80s, 90s music.
I honestly wouldn't. No, I'm not looking at you. No, you listen to everything, bro.
I do listen to everything, but
You
I was
listen
gonna
to
say,
Doja
but
Cat.
then, I mean, I do listen to a lot of stuff, you know, that brings me back to like times in my life. Where I'm like,
Great,
oh, that
best
was
times, right?
better sometimes.
All the time.
But
Okay.
what about someone like me? Like, I love the 80s. I don't care if it's pop, rock, like, I don't care. I love
Mm-hmm.
the 80s. I was not alive in the 80s. So what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I so drawn to a time that I did not partake in?
Did you listen to it in high school? Because I think high school is
Of course.
your
yeah,
comfort
but also,
shit.
no, growing up, I mean, I did have a little bit of 80s growing up, like Michael Jackson and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But my parents actually raised me a lot on Motown.
Okay.
That's not the 80s.
Nah, Motown, Less Town, whatever.
No, the
Just give me
Motown's the
sound.
70s, yeah.
No, I
60s,
know, like
70s, yeah.
Motown. There was some ABBA in there, a lot of ABBA,
Yeah.
Okay.
and then Michael.
Definitely 70s, yeah.
But then
love
no,
that shit.
like I like Madonna, and the Crew, and Def Leppard, and Alice Cooper, and
Maybe
Joan
you're
Jett.
nostalgic in a way where you wish that you lived during that
Right.
era and not now.
I think that's
I mean-
a
Oh!
lot of times that's what happens. Yeah. Oh my god. This motherfucker's a
No?
therapist.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
No, I think it's a cultural thing. You know what I mean? Like, what do you want to out of your you know, out of like your culture and your community and stuff like that, and that'll influence. So maybe the people that you were hanging around were listening to that shit.
I don't know. I think that when I listen to like 80s music, I imagine myself, you know, driving with the top down. It's California and it's warm
right.
and life feels
Better.
nice and
yeah,
better. and
Grass is
fun.
greener, right?
Grass is greener in the 80s.
Grass is greener
Well,
on the other
listen,
side.
while our forests are on fire and so are the oceans.
Did I
yeah.
listen to the 80s and I'm like, fuck, this synth sounds so garbage. I have the same sounds on my Yamaha at fucking home. That's what I hear when I hear 80s. I'm like, what is that? Like Owner of a Lonely Heart? You know that the orchestral hits? That's a stock orchestra hit sound that you get off of a $10 fucking keyboard. Yeah. And it's just pitch shifting the fucking thing upwards.